the apartment from the galley kitchen, exposed and empty, but still I had the lingering feeling that I was forgetting something. I'd gotten everything together in a rush, finishing out the last few weeks of the school year while fielding calls from Daniel and finding someone to sublet my place for the summer. No time to pause, to take in the fact that I was actually doing this. Going back. Going there. Daniel didn't know about the letter. He knew only that I was coming to help, that I had 2 months before I needed to return to my life here. Now the apartment was practically bare, an industrial box, stripped of all warmth, awaiting the moderately responsible-looking grad student who would be staying through August. I'd left him the dishes because they were a pain to pack. I'd left him the futon because he'd asked, and because he threw in an extra $50. The rest of it, the things that wouldn't fit in my car at least, was in a storage unit a few blocks away. My entire life in a sealed rectangular cube, stacked full of painted furniture and winter clothes. The sound of someone knocking echoed off the empty walls, made me jump. The new tenant wasn't due to arrive for another few hours when I'd be on the road. It was way too early for anyone else. I crossed the narrow room and opened the front door.
"Surprise,"
Everett said.
"I was hoping to catch you before you left."
He was dressed for work, clean and sleek, and he bent down to kiss me, one arm tucked behind his back. He smelled like coffee and toothpaste, starch and leather, professionalism and efficiency. He pulled a steaming styrofoam cup from behind his back.
"Brought you this, for the road."
I inhaled deeply. The way to my heart. I leaned against the counter, took a deep sip. He checked his watch and winced.
"I hate to do this, but I have to run. Early meeting on the other side of town."
We met halfway for one last kiss. I grabbed his elbow as he pulled away. "Thank you," I said. He rested his forehead against mine.
"It'll go fast. You'll see."
I watched him go, his steps crisp and measured, his dark hair brushing his collar, until he reached the elevator at the end of the hall. He turned back just as the doors slid open. I leaned against the doorframe, and he smiled.
"Drive safe, Nicolette."
I let the door fall shut, and the reality of the day suddenly made my limbs heavy, my fingertips tingle. The red numbers on the microwave clock ticked forward, and I cringed. It's a 9-hour drive from Philadelphia to Cooley Ridge, not counting traffic, lunch break, gas, and restroom stops, depending. And since I was leaving 20 minutes after I said I would, I could already picture Daniel sitting on the front porch tapping his foot as I pulled into the unpaved driveway. I sent him a text as I propped the front door open with a suitcase. On my way, but more like 3:30. It took 2 trips to drag the luggage and remaining boxes down to the car, which was parked around the block behind the building. I heard the beginnings of rush hour traffic in the distance, a steady hum on the highway, the occasional honk, a familiar harmony. I started the car, waited for the air to kick in. Okay, I thought. I rested my phone in the cup holder and saw a response from Daniel. "Dad's expecting you for dinner. Don't miss it." Like I might be 3 hours later than I'd claimed. That was one of Daniel's more impressive accomplishments. He had perfected the art of the passive-aggressive text message. He'd been practicing for years. When I was younger, I used to believe I could see the future. This was probably my father's fault, filling my childhood with platitudes from his philosophy lectures, letting me believe in things that could not be. I'd close my eyes and will it to appear in tiny, beautiful glimpses. I'd see Daniel in a cap and gown, my mother smiling beside him through the lens of my camera as I motioned for them to get closer. "Put your arm around her. Pretend you like each other." Perfect. I'd see me and Tyler, years later, throwing our bags into the back of his mud-stained pickup truck, leaving for college, leaving for good. It was impossible to understand back then that getting out wouldn't be an event in a pickup truck, but a 10-year process of excision, miles and years slowly padding the distance. Not to mention, Tyler never left Cooley Ridge, Daniel never graduated, and our mother wouldn't have lived to see it anyway. If my life were a ladder.
To keep listening to this audiobook, I've left you a link in the description so you can do it, at no cost thanks to Audible's 30-day free trial.